We're here, we want to tell you a story about some things you're going to see in the March the 20th Railroadiana auction from the collection of Steve Craig, Pack Rat, as most of you know him, from Tecumseh, Kansas. About 20 plus years ago, he bought a collection from an old gentleman, and the man's name was Raymond Johnson. He was a collector of railroadiana in the 1950s. He had worked also as a fireman on the Union Pacific, and then later became a school teacher, but he was a collector, and he also had a miniature live steam engine that he ran in the park at Salina, Kansas. He and his wife would go down to the park and fire up the engine, blow the whistle, and kids would come. They'd come running, as Steve put it, and ride the train in the park in Salina. And he did that for years. But again, he was also a collector. So what we found in his things is this builder's plate from an important locomotive in Australia. Great letter here with it, all the receipts where he bought it in 1964. We haven't, that part, that's really not what I'm here to tell you about today. You'll see that part in the catalog when we're done. But what I want to show you is that this collection that Steve bought, that was assembled starting in the 1950s, has all these keys, all these tags on the keys and the locks and different things. And so watch for these in the auction. You're going to know that it came from the Raymond Johnson collection that was started in the 1950s. And one of the things in that is this builder's plate. That is, what we want to do right here, right now, today, real quick, is just show you that it's pretty much the way he received it. We're going to open it up today for probably the first or maybe the second time. So, without further ado, I'm going to carefully get in here above it so that I'm not affecting it any. And I'd like to keep a nice looking packaging here that without ripping into it like a Christmas present, which is what I was most tempted to do. And Steve, by the way, that's how he met this gentleman. He also not only bought his collection, but he also bought that engine that ran in the park in Salina. And he has had it running for free and gets a big charge out of having a miniature railroad and having kids come out, and has really enjoyed that. He and his buddy, I believe it's Mike, help give me a little grace there. I know it's Mike, but just I don't always get names right. So there we are, wrapped in Australian paper that has prices in pounds, fabulous scale and grime, and let's see if we can get a date. Of course, we've got the date of the mailing itself. We'll talk about that in the catalog listing, but there it is. A little fun discovery for you. So watch for us on the with that auction, and when you're watching for the March 20th auction, when you're looking through the catalog, watch for these little tags, and we'll also tell you when we're offering something that is Pack Rat's collection, but items he bought from Raymond Johnson.